insecurity has been one of the major threats Nigerians are facing nowadays, even though the Buhari-led administration has been putting everything in place to make sure that normalcy returns to every region of the country. Some bad people in Nigeria are still causing havoc in some regions of the country. The southeast is a haven for ritual killings, commercial crime, secessionist agitation, kidnapping, header, farmer clashes, attacks by unknown gunmen, and banditry. Hmm? Southeast banditry, okay. However, why some people are so unfortunate to scrap through these insecurities, some Nigerians were so fortunate to escape from the dens of these perpetrators. On Monday, a former executive secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Professor Usman Yusuf, has alleged that after he dedicated 3 years of his life to study the cause of insecurity in the southeast region, he found out that the people behind the insecurities in the region are Igbos, and they are not unknown, unlike the way many people call them. They are Igbos. So how many years have you dedicated to the north to know who are the sponsor or who are the people involved, whether they are the northern people or people that were brought in from another country? And also, when you talk about, anytime I hear this man talk about a bandits or the Boko Haram, is always coming from the angle of a Nigerian should understand why these people are doing this. Himself and Gumi, they are in the same category. They will be telling Nigerians on how Nigerians should be able to understand. Gumi will be saying they have to bring money from the coffer of this country to give to these people. They will be telling you the reason why they are doing it, and the reason that Nigerians must understand why they are doing it, and the government should do the needful and say to these guys. That is what they will be talking. Now you have not told us how many years you have dedicated to know what is happening in your own region. You see, I think the South, unfortunately, the South are not even, the Southern leaders are not even interested in all of those things, because this is just pure propaganda. Usman Yusuf, who is also a special advisor on community engagement to the Atiku Okowa presidential campaign, while speaking during in an interview on Channels TV, revealed that the cases of insecurity wouldn't have been so critical in the region if the Igbo elders had joined hands to find a solution to it. He further alleged that the sit-at-home order, which is strictly being followed in the region for quite a number of months now, has had a negative effect on the economy of the region, and it is high time the Igbo elders sum together to tackle the issues. After I spent 3 years in Southeast, I found out that these government are Igbos and they are known. Usman Yusuf stated, if all Igbo elders have gotten involved in this unknown gunmen drama, the situation would be as worse as this. Every elder must get involved in the insecurity in this part of the country, and that is the only way we can solve this problem, he added. Oh my God. Who asked this man question that will not be able to ask him a thorough question? This is a case of kettle calling pot black. Now, wow, this country, this country, you see who is talking? Who is talking? I'm even speechless with what is coming out from this man. You are a bloody liar. The ruling party is masterminding 90% of the attacks. The Fulanis who speak Igbo language fluently are involved to make it look like IPOP is responsible. The elites are involved in sponsoring these attacks. Well, whether it is a Igbo, whether it is other people, whether it is a politician, so all I know is that you cannot be telling me something like this is happening in the East. Meanwhile, when you talk about the insecurity happening in this country, the chunk of money that Nigerian government is spending for insecurity or on insecurity concerning this whole thing is almost 99%. If I thought they are even spending any, the insecurity money spent in 99% is going to the north, and this man they will not say anything. Just like I said from the beginning, they will always like to paint the so-called bandits. Oh, you have to do this, just understand them, you know. So whether the people are Igbos or not, you coming out to tell us that the Igbo leaders are the ones who have made this whole thing to escalate, because if they had come and say, okay, let us know what to do, come together, sit together, profile solutions that the problem in eastern states wouldn't have escalated to what it is now. That is what this man is telling us. So the question is that what have you done in your own region? Like I said, who was the person that was asking this man question that will not be able to ask him a pertinent question because they don't have conscience. Even if they ask, they will be beating about the bush. Okay. You left your terrorist ravaged zone to be a volunteer private investigator in the southeast for 3 years. Haba, you are implicating yourself because you must disclose the truth about your mission sooner or later. This professor that was sacked from NHIS due to corruption should be told that insecurity in the southeast is a recent development that is less than 3 years old. One is therefore that he should resort to telling lies against the Southeast. Let him tell us what he spent the 3 years he claimed to have devoted to divorce research, since within 3 years of the problem, he was busy serving part of his dubious tenure at the NHIS. The headquarters of the organization is not in the southeast, or does he want us to believe that part of the corruption practices for which he was relieved of his post was abandonment and dereliction of duty? Now that he has shamefully returned to Abuja, I strongly advise him to research into who the bandits, kidnappers, rapists, killers, S-men, and Boko Haramists in the northeast and northwest are. When I read the part that he said he spent 3 years in the southeast, I thought he meant to say northeast. The unknown gunmen in the southeast is barely a year, and I stand to be corrected. Well, the unknown gunmen or any gunmen issue in the southeast is not yet up to 3 years, so how could you have studied it for 3 years? Just look at this corrupt embezzler who was sacked at his last appointment. He's not even in jail because it is a Fulani government that is in charge. He's one of those who coordinate banditry in Nigeria. Well, Governor Charles Oludo asserted that those behind the killings in Southeast are Igbos. We all know that. Okay, the government knows about the killings going on in the country. No this and no peace. Terrorist Osman. Now the name terrorist they bear that person. After I have spent 11 years in the northeast and northwest, I found out that bandits and Boko Haram are Hausa and Fulanis, and they are all known by name. They used to come home and change clothes and go back to the jungle. Bushman, researcher that came to Southeast to study criminals killing people. When I see a cow, I don't even need to be told. This is very unfortunate. You left the problem in your house to study the one in another man's house. Houseman is one of them. The gunmen will visit you soon. And how many years did it take you to study, discover that Boko Haram were Hausas and bandits, Fulanis? Me, why stayed in the north, I found out that the Boko Haram are Hausa bandits, are Fulanis. They could join in doing or committing all these atrocities. When some people talk that Nigeria is someone's country, you just be wondering that why these people saying like this. This is the evidence.